Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you chase it, happiness seems to slip through your fingers like water running through a sieve? You buy the car, you travel to the places everyone dreams of, you surround yourself with people you admire, yet the feeling of lasting joy never arrives. It's as if life is a beautifully wrapped gift that refuses to open when you expect it to. What if I told you that the reason nothing makes you truly happy isn't outside of you, but hidden in plain sight, quietly waiting for you to notice? A monk once told me, and I mean truly told me, that the search for happiness in the external world is like trying to hold sunlight in your hand. The harder you grasp, the more it slips away. He said, happiness is not something you reach for. It's something you awaken to. And in that moment, I realized how deeply conditioned we are to look in all the wrong places. We've been trained to believe that happiness is a reward, a destination, a trophy for achievements, or the sum of things we accumulate. But life has a cruel humor. The more we pile on, the emptier we feel. Imagine filling a bucket with holes in the bottom. You can carry it, decorate it, even name it, but it will never hold water. This is the paradox the monk wanted me to see. Every person chasing happiness externally is carrying a bucket full of holes, yet they stare at the world, blaming it for the leaks. He didn't speak in long, lofty sentences. Instead, he asked me a question that felt simple, yet it rattled me to the core. When was the last time you noticed the silence inside yourself? Silence, not the absence of noise, but the absence of craving, the absence of wanting. Not scrolling, not consuming, not achieving. Just a pause. And in that pause, the monk explained, lies the door to what we call happiness. Most of us avoid it because it's uncomfortable. When you sit in true stillness, your mind starts to stir up every hidden desire, every unspoken fear, every restless thought you've tucked away. The world trains us to be busy, to distract ourselves, to chase after things that glitter but never satisfy. And yet it is in facing the storm within and observing the currents without judgment that the quiet joy that no one can take from you begins to emerge. The monk led me to a small garden, barely a patch of green between stone walls, and said, "Do you hear it?" I strained to listen and heard nothing. But he shook his head gently and said, "That is precisely what you hear when you stop chasing. That nothingness is the cradle of contentment. Everything else is noise." It sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? Nothing brings you happiness, yet nothing is what contains it. The point isn't to renounce life or pleasure, it's to stop treating happiness as a commodity. You cannot buy it, store it, or demand it from others. Happiness is not a thing. It is a space, a quality of presence. Think of it as the difference between looking at a painting and becoming the painting. When you stop standing outside life, constantly measuring, judging, wanting, you merge with the flow, and the flow is peaceful. But we resist this because we have been taught to seek, to fight, to conquer, to achieve. Society whispers that without possessions, accolades, or validation, you are incomplete. So we chase endlessly, filling our lives with experiences, people, achievements, trying to patch a bucket that cannot hold water. The monk smiled as he saw the confusion on my face and said, "Happiness is the shadow of your being at peace with itself. Shadows are always present when there is light. You cannot create the shadow. It is a reflection of alignment. Similarly, happiness arises naturally when you are no longer at war with yourself. It is not a prize for finishing the race. It is the gentle whisper when you stop running." I asked him, "But why do I feel so empty even when I have everything I thought I wanted?" He took a slow breath, looking at the sky that had turned a golden orange as the sun began its descent. "Because you have been drinking from rivers that flow away from you, not within you. You cannot catch joy in possession, nor can you own it in success. You can only awaken to it by turning inward." I realized then that all the advice, all the self-help tips, all the books stacked on my shelf were like maps of other people's journeys. They guided me to the doors, but I had to walk through alone. The monk didn't give me formulas or steps. He gave me an experience. Each day I would sit, breathing slowly, observing thoughts rise and fall like leaves drifting on a stream. I didn't control the stream. I didn't try to grab the leaves. I simply watched. And gradually, something shifted. I noticed a subtle warmth, a quiet clarity, a feeling of not needing, not demanding. A satisfaction born not from outside, but from the mere act of being. You see, our minds are conditioned to seek happiness like a prize in a contest we never agreed to join. But the monk taught me to reverse the lens. Instead of asking, "How can I be happy?" ask, "What is preventing me from noticing the happiness that is already here?" It is a radical inversion because it removes striving from the equation. Striving always produces friction. And friction burns energy, leaving the soul exhausted. I began to notice that moments I had overlooked, watching rain fall on the leaves, feeling the cool wind on my skin, laughing without reason, listening to a bird sing, were already containing a form of happiness I had been blind to. It was quiet, unassuming, and abundant. The twist the monk revealed is that by chasing we flee, by grasping we lose, and by stillness we finally arrive. It is almost cruelly simple, yet we resist simplicity. Life seduces us with complexity, making us believe that we need more, that we must become more to feel more. The monk warned me, the danger is in believing that happiness is earned. It is not a paycheck, a degree, a promotion. It is the breath you take when you stop fighting yourself. Imagine walking through a dense forest. The sunlight pierces the canopy in fragmented beams. You search for the path, tripping over roots, pushing past thorns, anxious for the clearing you think is ahead. But then you stop. You notice the air, the scent of pine, the song of distant birds. And in that pause, the forest itself becomes a clearing. Happiness is a clearing, not a destination. It exists in the noticing, in the pause, in the awareness. Every attempt to bottle it, to control it, to purchase it, is like trying to hold mist in your hands. The monk's answer, which seemed paradoxical at first, was beautifully clear in its simplicity. Nothing external makes you truly happy, because happiness is never external. It is the space between desires, the quiet behind the mind, the aliveness in the present moment that you cannot manufacture. And here's the subtle twist that most people miss. The more we understand this, the more our lives change, not because the world has changed, but because we have stopped resisting it. When you stop fighting, even suffering has a texture of richness. Even failure becomes a teacher instead of a tormentor. The monk showed me that the pursuit of happiness is not about adding more to life, but subtracting the layers of noise, expectation, and illusion until the pure essence of being can shine through. Think of a sculptor chiseling away marble. The beauty is never added. It is revealed. So if you find yourself exhausted by life, dissatisfied despite your achievements, constantly seeking yet never finding, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that keeps me from noticing the happiness that is already here? What illusions am I chasing while the world quietly waits for me to stop, breathe, and see? Happiness does not knock. It does not announce itself. It emerges in the absence of resistance, in the letting go of the narrative that you must earn it, must deserve it, must control it. The monk once said, happiness is a window you clean from the inside. Until you do, all you see are streaks and smudges. So what if today you tried nothing? What if today you simply noticed the world, your breath, the rhythm of life pulsing through your veins? What if you allowed the simple joy of being to exist without qualification, without condition, without demand? It will feel strange at first. Your mind will protest, telling you there is more to do, more to achieve, more to want. But this protest is just the echo of old habits. Keep returning, keep noticing, keep allowing. The more you do, the less you chase. And in that quiet persistence, you awaken to the truth the monk was showing me all along. Nothing external will make you truly happy, because happiness is not external. It is not a destination. It is not a prize or a possession. It is the subtle, luminous, often overlooked reality of being fully present, fully alive, fully at peace with the flow of life. And when you finally realize this, you are free. Free from craving, free from disappointment, free from the endless loop of seeking and losing. You discover that joy is not something to capture, but something to allow. It is the river flowing through you, the sunlight breaking through the clouds, the quiet whisper behind all thoughts saying, "You are enough. You have always been enough." This moment, exactly as it is enough. So the next time you feel that familiar dissatisfaction, that yearning for something more, pause, breathe, listen to the silence behind your thoughts. Observe the emptiness not as a void to fill, but as a space ready to receive the very thing you have been chasing all along. Nothing makes you truly happy because happiness is never outside. It is waiting quietly inside, in the stillness, in the noticing, in the being. And this realization is both a challenge and a liberation. Life may not change, but your perception does. Life may still be chaotic, uncertain, imperfect, but your experience of it can be serene, abundant, and deeply joyful. This is the monk's surprising answer, and it is available to anyone willing to stop chasing, willing to breathe, willing to awaken to the quiet miracle of the present. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, leave a comment about what you noticed in your own life, like this video to help others find this insight, and subscribe to Echoes of Greatness to continue exploring these transformative lessons that change not just what you know, but how you experience the world. Remember, happiness is not a destination to reach, but a window to open, and the key has always been within you.